Hello, everyone, and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we are working on Grandma's scrap quilt. I will have this pattern linked down in the description for you, and I will also have my Facebook group linked down in the description. This is going to be a sew-along for us. It will be however long it takes me to get this done. On my table, you'll see that you're in a different location. Well, you're in the same room, same location, just to have everything kind of sorted out. Right here is, y'all really can't normally see this, but this is my pressing station. Well, this isn't. This right here is my pressing station. This is just a old little metal desk with my wool mats on it. I throw a towel over it so I can change it out. And I have my best press and my iron back here. But this is where I am going to be putting my fabrics. I'm putting my acrylic tray here. I need to move things out of the way. The fabrics that I am using, this is a Fresh Fig Favorites Fat Quarter Bundle. I am probably going to be using this fat quarter bundle as well. I currently already have a fat quarter bundle out here on my table. It is pressed and it is ready for me to cut. I have my OFA rotary cutter. I have a Fiskars, what is this, like a 6-inch by 24-inch ruler. And then I also have my 6.5-inch by, I think it's 24 also. This is a combo ruler. It's a combo cutter ruler. I will also have a link for all of these down in my description if you're interested in looking at them. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use to cut my fabrics, so I just have it all out here. Our pattern calls for us to take have 36 medium dark and 36 light medium 7.5-inch squares. Well, out of a fat quarter, I'm thinking I can get 4 out of each one. These are going to be my lights, my yellows, greens, and blues. These are my lights right here. And my black, orange, and reds are going to be my medium darks. So I am going to just start cutting. Now, instead of stacking these, which I thought about that, and I probably could. Let me see what a stack. Because, you know, sometimes even with fat quarters, they're not the same. Well, they're the same, technically the same size, but they're not cut, I don't know what to call it, on the same grain. Sometimes they're just wonky. I mean, I don't know what to call it other than just wonky. I'm going to try to match this all up because that is going to make a difference in how much. Well, see, like this fat quarter right here is shorter than the other one. So, I'm not going to lay them on top of one another. I could do that and then just risk being short, but I'm not doing that. So what I'm going to do is, oh, and I do have my self-healing cutting mat here. What I am going to do is just take this, line this up on my cutting mat. And I know if I have 2 7.5-inch squares, that's 15 inches. So, let's see. Do we think this is going to be the easiest way, or let's try this. Okay, I'm going to try this. And y'all, I know I'm sitting down, and most people would say, well, you should stand up. Well, let me just tell you, I would stand up if my back wasn't hurting so bad today. So now we have this strip right here left. We are going to keep this. Now, I could, let's see. Now that I've done that, let me go to my 7.5. I do what I can do when I can do it. And today, this is what I can do. And so I'm going to be moving myself around, pulling myself pretty much. And yes, I did go to the chiropractor yesterday, but I guess I slept wrong, and that happens. So now that, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have turned it. So, okay, well, I did it. Because we know we want to cut these at 15 inches. And if I leave these two together and turn them before cutting them in half, I'll have a bigger piece at the bottom, and maybe I can get my 6.5 inch squares out of the bottom piece. But I didn't think about that this time, so that'll be okay. We'll just improvise. But a 6.5 inch square can come out of a 7.5 inch piece if it's, I don't think I'm going to have enough. No, I'm not going to have enough to get a 6.5 inch square. 6 inches, but not 6.5. And that's one of the sizes that we need is a 6.5. That's why I was saying I was probably going to have to use the other pack. You know, the other fat quarter bundle was so I can get my 6.5 inch squares. These are 6 inches. So, I don't know. I may be able to. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. So I'm cutting this one at 7.5. So now we have, I cut that at 16. Yeah, my mind is just gone. So now that thing is only 5 inches. Because I cut it at 16 instead of 15. Well, we still have 4 7.5 inch squares. My little iron is not on over here, so no fear, I'm not melting anything. I'm not going to catch it on fire. So let's try this again. We are going to, and this is, I'm going to do this to all of them. Maybe not exactly how I did that. Hopefully not cutting them at 16 inches. So we are going to cut this at 15 inches. And that is going to leave us a 3 inch piece on the side. And this pattern does call for 2.5 inch squares, I believe. Or 2.5 by 8 inches strips or squares. This will actually give us that 2.5 by 8 inches. Because it's actually given us a 3 by 21. So I am going to find a way to lay my strips over here because we do want to keep all of our strips together. And it looks like I'm not going to be using my combo cutter, that I'm going to be using this one instead. So the next thing I do is I turn the fabric long ways. And I need to do this. I don't know why I was focused on getting that 7.5 inches. So now we're going to lay our ruler on the 15. Okay, so now we have this larger piece. that we can use for something. So I am going to lay it over here. And it's always a matter of not having enough room for me. So here we're going to go at 7.5 inches. And then we're going to take these two and cut them into 7.5 inches. And then we'll have our second set of 4. Now, I have 9 fat quarters of what I'm classifying as my medium to dark and my light to medium colors. So, I have 9. So, 9, getting 4 squares out of each one of them. It's going to be our 36. I'm sorry. I had to focus on getting that on that 7.5. But these are the these are the fat quarters that I chose to use for my grandma's scrap quilt. Even though this is a scrappy design quilt, I am now see this fat quarter, when I line up the selvage edge down here, it goes over to the left. I mean, well, to my right, your left. Now, if I line it up here, that's not going to be correct. So, I'm going to line it on the selvage. That's why I always put the selvage down here and line up. So, now we may not have 3 inches on this one. Because I am going to turn it and straighten it up. And I know the way I cut may not be the greatest, but it's the way my wrist lets me do it. And no, I don't have paint or nothing in it. It's just odd for me to hold that differently. So now I'm going to lay this on that 15. Got to get that in. There we go. I am like veering off like there's no other. So I need to turn this the other way. That's what I should have done. Okay, well, it looks like it's cut, but I got a mess made out of it, so. Oh. That piece is not going to be used. I will pull another one because I have a spare black piece. I have this piece that I can use. It's not pressed out. I'm not going to worry about it. Let me see if this one does okay on the selvage. So, yeah, y'all, I have to do that a lot of times because I'm not the best cutter, and that's why I really need to be using my combo cutter because it's got a trench that it stays in, and it cuts, well, it's supposed to cut straight. I'm not going to say it does because it does have a little leeway in it. It's got a little give on that. So let me do that. Let me grab my other cutter. Okay, I'm back and I have more room on my table now. Now, I know this can be off because I have not pressed this and I'm not even turning it the correct way. Oh, yeah. I need a nap today. Yes, and I am pre-recording this. It is Saturday afternoon and I need a nap already. The only thing I can't cut is far. There we go. So now we've gone 15 by the width, and now we're going to go 15 by the length. And guys, thank you so much for joining the sew along with me. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited to see what you come up with. I do have the Facebook group that I hope everyone starts putting their pictures in. I will have a post for you to put your pictures under. Do not create a post, only do a comment and add your photos under the post for the sew along, because I am going, I thought maybe I could leave it and you know, leave all the other posts out there, but I can't because I can't decipher what's what. And that's just a me thing. I can't. But this way, everyone can see, you know, what is what's in which sew along, because I do have 2 sew alongs going on currently. We're going to get this at 7.5. And I probably need to pull this over just a little bit because it's not pressed. So I really should have taken the time to press it, but I have this other stuff back here. And I'm pretty certain my blocks are not all going to be the same size. I did check to see if I had an AQuilt die at 7.5 inches. I did not. So I am having to cut these myself. Because if I did have a die, I would have just pulled my AQuilt over here, and we would be cutting these with an AQuilt die, even though I feel like that does leave a lot of waste. You know, unless I'm cutting scraps, I don't like to put a fat quarter bundle on my die. Because I don't have a lot of room for waste on this. Even though I did just waste a fat quarter. But that fat quarter, I will have that for other things. I could use that for other sizes or something else. So what we're going to do is just cut fabric for an hour. So I hope you guys, now I know I'm cutting this one different. I'm putting my selvage on the right edge here. I shouldn't do that because I really need that 3-inch length. Well, I guess, yeah, I need that 3-inch length. And to make the cutter cut, you have to, like, lean into it. Like, press it down. Because if you don't press it down, it doesn't go into the fabric. And I hope next week that we will be sewing this instead of... I've got to find a way to get this where that is not in my way. And you make sure where you're having to cut is not in the white areas, because the blade does not go in the white areas. So I am keeping all of my remnants, so to say, because they're going to be part of the quilt. I'm going to use everything I possibly can to make the quilt. And you notice I did not cut my selvage off. I guess it's okay. I didn't have the white printed in selvage, so it doesn't really matter to me. I feel like that also gives it character. And sometimes I like to see that selvage on fabric. I just like to see it. But this is, like I said, it's not the printed edge, so it's not a big deal. Now, like this one that's got the printed edge, I will cut that off. I don't want that in what I have remaining. But I do like to use that selvaged edge as a guide for my straight. I know it may not mean nothing. It may not mean it's straight or anything like that. But it's easier for me to have that on there to use as a guide. So I am laying this down at 15 inches there and 15 inches there. And see, that's the good thing about this, is you can pick it up by this rail here and move it. You can hold it down in one place and pick the rail and move like the other end around. Now, I love these colors. I love even the blacks and the orange. That'd be a good fall quilt, you know, a good fall quilt. But when I saw this pattern and I was mulling it over, I really love Fig Tree and Company's colors. Now, I've never really used their orange and black, but I have used... Okay, now which one is... That's my cut side, so... Yeah, this is bringing it off really bad. So, see, this is another instance of where it's not cut straight. I'm just going to have to go with it because I'm not taking another piece out. I mean, it's not a full 1/4 inch difference, but it's getting there. It's not very far off of a full 1/4 inch difference. And I'm getting awful about this cutting thing. I don't know why. I guess the further away from me it gets, the harder it is for me to keep pressure on it. Maybe I shouldn't be cutting this on camera because I don't want to be standing up that long. This is the easiest way for me to do it. And this is one thing, if you have a bad back, this is one thing I can do even with my back hurting. And my back always hurts the day after I have my grandbaby. Because I tell you, that car seat thing that he has, that thing is heavy. Let's see what the cut of this is. How bad is the cut on this one? It doesn't look too bad. But I love Fig Tree & Company's colors. So, when I saw this bundle, I mean, that was a no-brainer for me. I know I'm going to get this one. I think what it is, the end here is not even. So what I'm going to do is set the selvage on that end. This is just going to cause me to double cut, which I don't like doing. I like to be real quick, you know, with my cuts, but sometimes you just can't be. And I would really love to be able to just bring y'all in and just start sewing, but I have to cut my fabric to do that. And I haven't cut it yet. Because when I did the video the other day, I was still on the fence about how I wanted, you know, my colors to be. So I wasn't exactly sure, but I kind of had an idea. You know, I'm not going to... And I did end up going with the idea that I had. So... But, you know, with a full-time job, cutting fabric is not always something you can get to on the daily. That did not cut, at all. Okay, we're going to do a recut. And I know it's a good blade in here, so it's not that. It's a pressure issue. I'm not getting enough pressure on it. Because along with my back hurting, this elbow hurts. So, because that's the arm I carry that car seat carrier in, and oh my goodness. So next Friday, or this upcoming Friday, I will have my granddaughter. So excited about that. Get to see that little sugar dumpling. She's so sweet. After she gets used to me again. I don't see her enough for her to stay used to me, so she cries at first. I'm hoping the time they told me to pick her up is like her nap time. Because it's the time she's used to going night-night napping, and we could put her in the car and go for a ride, and she'd go night-night. And okay, let's get this. See. So y'all are actually seeing how I cut my fabrics out, and yes, I get frustrated a lot cutting my fabrics. Cutting fabric is not my thing. I don't like cutting fabric. That's why I like patterns that are charm packs, jelly rolls, things like that. And this here, I'm going to have to do this one off a little bit also, because it's not an even thing either. And you know, sometimes your arms and hands just hurt. But if it means that in a short while, I will be able to be sewing, it's a necessary evil. You know, like getting up and going to work every day. That's a necessary evil for me. That's how I pay my bills. Or how my husband and I pay our bills. Although I do love my job. I love my job. Oh, I should have cut that end off before I did that. Just gonna line that up and then put this at that 7.5. See how different that is? It's just crazy sometimes how different the cut on a fat quarter is. It's not always an even fat quarter. It's just not. So, and I know a machine is cutting it. Not all the time is a person cutting it. So it's beyond human error. A machine does it too. So it happens. That's part of a pre-cut thing. You know, if you get a pre-cut, it's probably going to have an issue. But checking that to make sure that didn't come on there. I am not even through my dark colors, y'all, and it's already been almost 40 minutes. I'll edit out what I can, but it's not going to be a lot. So I hope you guys are either cutting your fabric with me or sewing. If you're already sewing, I'm so happy for you. It's, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I will catch up. But this one here doesn't have a deadline. It doesn't have anything. This one is, we're just sewing. We're doing the sew along. We are making the grandma's scrappy quilt. I mean, who knows how long this one will take me to do. because I do have a deadline on the Silverstone, but it's only a deadline for me to get photos. It is not a deadline for you to have your quilt done. If you do not have your quilt done, that is okay, guys. It is a-okay. And I'm sitting here, I've been looking at my calendar for the fall. And, oh, it looks like I'm going to have a busy fall, too. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to turn this way because that end is not even. I'm already making plans. They're not concrete yet. For December, this next week will determine. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Well, I can't. Oh, it was. This next week will determine if I get to do what I want to in the fall or not. So let's see. We are. I need to go on and put that back on that line because I got that line straight. This down here is not straight. So now what I have to do is cut these at 7.5 both ways. All right. So in the comments, tell me who else is going to be doing the, if you're going to do Grandma's scrap quilt with me, let me know if you're going to. Now, also, like I said, we will have the Facebook group as well. You're more than welcome to join. I do have to approve your request to join that group. And that's just so I can kind of monitor to make sure we have actual people joining the group. But if y'all ever see that someone looks kind of suspicious in the group, message me. Don't say anything in the group. Message me. Because I will respond to your message, because that is the last thing I want is for my Facebook group to get spammy. I've already had one thing happen where it said I was trying to change my password for my group. So I was like, no, I'm not trying to change anything. We're good. So, you know, I know the bots and all are out there, so unfortunately it's nothing I can do about it. I do put extra safety measures out there for it. I have keywords that if they're said, you're blocked. And probably even banned from the page. So keep it clean, keep it nice. That's all we're trying to do. All I'm trying to do. Because it's just me. I don't have moderators for my Facebook group. I probably need to, but right now it's just me. Unless I see that I'm going to need some help in the future, it's just me. because I don't foresee this becoming like some big enormous thing that I can't take care of, you know. And I've always been like that. I just handle my own thing. But I do love it when people like to join in and we share a same passion, you know, for sewing or quilting or cooking or crafting. And y'all may even see some of that in my Facebook group as well. Because I do like to try out recipes in my Instant Pot. I purchased my first Instant Pot. Y'all, actually, if you look on my channel, you'll find the unboxing of it. I think I have a playlist for cooking or the Instant Pot. That was the first Instant Pot that I'd ever purchased. I was wondering what the craze was, because I was like, man, you know, everybody swears by this thing. Now, I've had pressure cookers, but I didn't have an Instant Pot. Now, I think they're all the same thing, kind of, but you find all kinds of recipes for the Instant Pot and how to convert things for the Instant Pot, and I love it, y'all. I absolutely love my Instant Pot. I boil eggs in it at least once a week. Because sometimes, you know, y'all know now you can't look at me and tell, but we're trying to do the keto meal thing, because we do have some food sensitivities, and I fail every day at it. I'm not gonna lie. My husband brought in pizza the other day. Yes, sorry, I ate it. He brought my favorite one in, which is the Maui Wowie, which is like a Hawaiian pizza. You know, the Canadian bacon and pineapple that everybody says does not belong on pizza, but it belongs on my pizza. Because I love grilled pineapple even, so I just love pineapple, and that's really not very keto, but the pizza ain't keto either, so. But it's all about making healthier choices, and yes, I did bad. I had a soda. But, you know, I did better after that. I make sure I'm drinking water, lots of water, to wash that out of me. And it'll take me a few days to get it out of me again. Because I don't normally drink sodas, but I have been drinking a half and half tea, which is not really good either. It's still got sugar in it. But it's what I can handle. I don't like sweet tea. I will have to quit drinking tea altogether to quit drinking sugar in my tea. Because down here in the South, tea is supposed to be sweet. And, yeah, it's hard for me to drink unsweet tea. Now, like, my husband and my sister, they both drink unsweet, and I gag because it's like dirt to me. I can't do it. I cannot do it without that sweetener in there. It just kind of mellows it out for me. And that's what I like. I like a nice, good, and see, I don't even make tea here at my house. I haven't made tea here at my house in over a year. And I still have tea bags in my pantry. So I need to either make them up or soak them to go put in my garden. Well, that one is different sizes. That one is 7.5. That one is 7 3/4. We don't need no 3/4. I don't know how that, because I cut that thing in half. I probably have a few of them that are like this, but guys, give me your talking points that you'd like to talk about. I've got a kitty cat up here. I don't know if you can see him. You probably can't see him. He's raising up on my leg here, trying to get up here. What you want, baby? So that is my darks. I am going to go on and call this a video because we're right at 50 minutes right now, and this way this will be a good start for our new sew along. This is the Grandma's Scrap Quilt. I will still continue to be cutting my fabrics, and hopefully by next Sunday I will have all my fabrics cut. We will be starting to sew, and I hope you decide to join me again. I really enjoy these sew alongs. I'm going to pull these fabrics back over here so you can see what I have. I have all the fat quarters right here. They're all pressed out. And, you know, sometimes I cut them wrong, but that's okay. I can adjust, because if I can't, I've always got more scraps I can pull out of my scrap bin and make up for where I don't have. So I won't have to buy anything. I am going to be using these strips to make my centerpieces. I think it's a 9 square centerpiece. I will be using these strips to make that, although I have to trim them down to 2.5 inches. And I don't know, I don't think I'll be able to use these pieces for my 6.5 inch squares, but we will see, because we're a good bit away from cutting those 6.5 inch squares. So I'm not going to worry about those right at the moment. Right now, this is what we have, and this is what we're going to be working with, and we will adjust to whatever we need to adjust. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Are you joining me on the sew along? If you are, just let me know. I do try to respond to each and every comment. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Goodbye.